The door creaks open. You step into the kitchen, barely thinking about it, just a glass of water, maybe a quick snack before heading back to your room. But before you even reach the counter, you hear it. Soft paws against the floor. A quiet shadow moving behind you. You don't need to turn around to know. They're there. Again. You walk to the sink, they sit beside you. You turn toward the fridge, they follow. You leave the room, and without hesitation, they rise and trail behind you once more. Room after room. Step after step. Always there. Always watching. Always close. And at some point, almost every dog owner asks the same quiet question. Why does my dog follow me everywhere? Most people assume it's simple. They just love me. Or maybe they're being clingy. Some even joke. My dog doesn't respect personal space. And while those explanations feel comforting, even amusing, they barely scratch the surface. Because behavioral science tells a very different story. What looks like a simple habit is actually a deeply rooted psychological behavior shaped by thousands of years of evolution, attachment, and survival. To understand why your dog follows you into every room, you have to step into their mind. Not as a pet, but as a social animal whose entire existence has been shaped by connection. Dogs are not solitary creatures. They never were. Long before they curled up at the foot of human beds, their ancestors moved in packs. Every decision, every movement, every moment of rest or alertness was shared. To be separated from the group wasn't just uncomfortable. It was dangerous. Isolation meant vulnerability. And over time, that instinct never disappeared. It simply evolved. Today, your home has become their pack environment. And you are at the center of it. From a psychological standpoint, your dog doesn't just see you as an owner. They see you as a secure base. A concept deeply rooted in attachment theory. Originally studied in humans, attachment theory explains how individuals form emotional bonds with caregivers who provide safety, comfort, and stability. And fascinatingly, dogs exhibit this same pattern. In a 2013 study conducted at the University of Veterinary Medicine in Vienna, researchers observed how dogs responded when separated from their owners in unfamiliar environments. The results were striking. Dogs used their owners as a source of emotional security, just like human infants use their parents. When the owner was present, the dogs explored more confidently. When the owner left, stress levels increased significantly. But when the owner returned, relief, calm, reconnection. This behavior is known as the secure base effect. And it explains something powerful. Your dog doesn't just follow you because they want to. They follow you because your presence regulates their emotional state. Think about that for a moment. Your movements, your voice, even the sound of your footsteps act as signals of safety in your dog's nervous system. Which brings us to something even deeper. The brain. Inside your dog's brain, a chemical called oxytocin plays a central role in bonding. Often referred to as the love hormone, oxytocin is released during moments of connection, eye contact, physical touch, shared presence. Studies, including one from Hiroshima University, have shown that when dogs and their owners gaze into each other's eyes, both experience a rise in oxytocin levels. It's a feedback loop. Connection strengthens connection. Bond deepens bond. And over time, your dog becomes neurologically wired to stay close to you. So when they follow you into another room, it's not random. It's chemical. It's emotional. It's instinctual. But there's more. Following behavior is also tied to something known as social referencing. This is when an animal looks to another, typically a trusted figure, to understand how to respond to uncertain situations. You've probably seen it without realizing. A loud noise happens. Your dog looks at you. Not at the sound, At you. Because your reaction tells them how they should feel. If you're calm, they relax. If you're tense, they become alert. By following you from room to room, your dog is constantly gathering information, monitoring your behavior, reading your emotional cues. Not out of dependence, but out of adaptation. You are their compass. And this behavior becomes even more meaningful when we look at evolution. Thousands of years ago, early humans and wolves began forming a unique alliance. Wolves that were less aggressive, more socially attuned, started lingering near human settlements. Over generations, these wolves evolved into what we now recognize as dogs. But this wasn't just a physical transformation. It was psychological. Dogs developed an extraordinary ability to read human behavior, to synchronize with human routines, to anticipate human actions. In a way, dogs didn't just adapt to living alongside us. They adapted to living with us. So when your dog follows you, they're not just staying close. They're participating in your life, matching your rhythm, aligning with your presence. And here's where things become even more profound. Because sometimes, following isn't just about connection. It's about regulation. Dogs, like humans, experience stress. Their bodies produce cortisol, the hormone associated with anxiety and alertness. And just like in humans, chronic stress can be harmful. But your presence acts as a buffer. Research has shown that a dog's cortisol levels can decrease simply by being near their owner. Not playing. Not interacting. Just being there. Your presence alone has a calming effect on their nervous system. So when your dog follows you into every room, it may be their way of maintaining emotional balance. Staying within range of safety. Within reach of calm. But here's the part most people miss. There's a difference between healthy attachment and anxiety-driven dependency. A dog that follows you calmly, rests when you stop, and remains relaxed is showing secure attachment. But a dog that becomes distressed when you leave, paces, whines, or cannot settle without constant proximity may be experiencing separation anxiety. And this distinction matters. Because behavior always carries information. Your dog is always communicating. Not with words, but with patterns. So if your dog has always followed you, calmly and quietly, that's connection. But if their behavior suddenly changes, if the following becomes more intense, more urgent, more restless, that's a signal. Something has shifted. It could be emotional. It could be environmental. Or even physical. Dogs often become more attached when they sense changes we can't yet see. Subtle shifts in routine. Stress in the household. Or even illness. There are countless stories of dogs becoming unusually clingy before their owners discovered medical conditions. Not because dogs understand disease, but because they sense changes in scent, behavior, and energy. To them, something feels different. And their response is simple. Stay closer. Watch more carefully. Protect the bond. Because at its core, following is not about dependency. It's about connection. It's about presence. It's about a silent agreement that says, where you go, I go. And in a world that often feels disconnected, that kind of loyalty can feel almost surreal. Almost too simple to be real. But it is. Every time your dog follows you into a room, they are choosing you. Not once, but over and over again. Without hesitation. Without question. Not because they have to, but because, in their world, you are home. And maybe that's the deepest truth of all. To your dog, you are not just a person. You are safety. You are familiarity. You are belonging. So the next time you hear those soft paws behind you, pause for a moment. Don't brush it off. Don't laugh it away. Just notice. Because in that quiet act of following is a story that's been unfolding for thousands of years. A story of trust, of evolution, of two species learning, slowly and beautifully, how to belong to each other. And if you look closely enough, you'll realize something. They're not just following you. They're staying connected to you. In every step. In every room. In every moment. And maybe that's one of the purest forms of love we'll ever experience. If your dog follows you everywhere, take a moment and think about what they might be telling you. And I'd love to hear your story. Does your dog follow you from room to room? Or do they have their own little habits that make you wonder? Share it in the comments. And if you want to understand your dog on a deeper level, make sure to subscribe. Because in the next video, we're exploring what it really means when your dog stares at you in silence. And trust me, that behavior has a story too.